I suppose we should get started. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry I was away for so long. Turns out, soon after that last update video, I actually caught COVID. I had some family members who were sick, and I pitched in, trying to help them. And I caught it myself. It was kind of weird. I didn't exactly think I was invincible, but it was my first time getting it in all these years. It's a weird thing. For years, my life has been pretty much stagnant, not moving in any particular direction. But now, with the YouTube channel and some other things going on in my life, I felt I was finally hitting my stride, and I finally found my YouTube workflow, and I thought I was going to be putting out a ton of videos. That's when I got sick. I don't remember much of the first few days. It was mostly just waiting, and I suppose that's okay. I've been waiting and twiddling my thumbs my entire life. What could another week do? So, I just had to lay down and let my body heal. Had to take a week off from work. I consider myself fairly healthy. I thought I would be able to beat the disease fairly quickly, especially considering that I am fully vaccinated. Mostly just waiting for my body to do its work, heal itself. I thought maybe 4-5 days would pass before I heal. The first day or two is a complete blur. I was just trying to keep myself entertained watching YouTube videos. At the time, I really wanted to get back to doing other things, but didn't really have the strength, and I definitely couldn't go back to my job because I didn't want to get everyone else there infected, so I just had to wait. I started watching One Piece again. Well, not really. I was watching people react to One Piece, and I was thinking, man, Luffy's cool. He's just so confident and headstrong and believes in himself and gets so much done in such a short time. And I was starting to look forward to doing that. I was starting to look forward to jumping back into it once I got healthy again. 5 days passed and I wasn't really doing much better, so I went to the doctor. They put steroids in my ass and then gave me some steroid pills to eat. With the steroids and some antibiotics, I managed to recuperate somewhat, and a little over a week later, I was finally able to go back to work. The night before, I bought a bunch of Panda Express, varieties of different meats and vegetables, and I just crammed it down because that's what Luffy would do. I ate and just ate to my heart's content, and then I fell asleep extra early. The next morning, I was ready. I went back to work, and I worked better than ever before. And it's odd to say, being a mere dishwasher, but I actually take pride in how well I did that day. Having all of my energy suddenly come back to me was very gratifying. I still had a cough, but I was pretty much over my COVID. The next day at work, I was still coughing, and my voice got weaker. The same thing continued the next day. Day by day, my cough got worse and my voice got weaker, with no sign of ever stopping. And at At one point, I was worried I would permanently lose my voice. As much as I wanted to get back to recording YouTube videos, I couldn't. My throat was being held hostage. The abundant energy I had on my first day back to work quickly faded. I think part of it was my excitement to be back living my life. But as my cough got worse, the more I realized I wasn't really ready. But at this point, I couldn't really afford to take any more days off. I am their only daytime dishwasher, so without me, the chef would have to balance dishwashing and cooking, and I didn't want to put him through that. Not that I could financially afford to take a break even if I wanted to, so I continued working. And as a matter of fact, I took on an extra day of work on top of everything else. It was a while before I had a free day to go see the doctor again. Turns out I had bronchitis, and if it kept progressing, I would have pneumonia. Luckily, another steroid shot and a different type of antibiotic would do the trick. At this point, it had been 14 days since I contracted COVID. With the bronchitis in my system and with my voice getting weaker, I didn't have the capacity to record any YouTube videos, and I expended all of my energy at work washing dishes, so when I got home I didn't have the energy to really type or draw or do anything else I'm passionate about. So for an extra week, my life became waking up, going to work, coming home, and doing nothing but resting. Work, rest, work, rest, work, rest. At this point, I was completely sick of YouTube videos. Sad to say, I don't want to ever watch a Doug video ever again, because I marathoned every single one of his videos, and I was going to go for another round of marathoning it, but I just couldn't. Out of interesting YouTube videos to watch, and also losing my capacity to like them, I took to reading. It was, I believe, getting close to October at this point, so I thought I would get a head start on my Halloween reading. I always struggled to read, and I don't know why. It was always just a challenge. But for some reason, when I had COVID, and I had nothing else going on, and I was sick of watching YouTube videos, I suddenly got better at reading. I read faster, and I could read for longer periods of time. So I finished rereading Dracula, which I'd been putting off for months, and I read another Bram Stoker novel, and these things helped pass the time. But aside from reading, I couldn't do any of my other passions. I couldn't even talk to my friends, because, well, the more I talked, the worse my voice got. All I could do is hunker down until the bronchitis went away. Sometimes I wonder if I would have recovered faster if I didn't go to work every day. Well, almost every day. Like I said before, I didn't really have a choice, but if I did, I wonder if it would make a difference. I resent that sometimes. The thought that I had to keep working, and that it slowed my recovery. But it was okay. I've been sick before. All I had to do was work, rest, work, rest, work, and rest. It was the only thing I could do. Working and resting. At this point, I'd been sick for about 16 days, I think. It was the longest I've ever been sick in one run, though granted it was 2 different sicknesses piled together. But my bronchitis finally passed. My throat was still sore, but it wasn't taking any more damage. So I thought, within a couple days, I could go back to recording YouTube videos. I went to work, and I thought, as a matter of fact, I'll try tomorrow. My voice might be raspy, but it's worth a try. On my way out of work, I coughed harder than ever before, and I pulled a muscle. There's a rib that still hurts all these days later. That's how hard I coughed. It was one last cough before my coughing went away, but now I had a pulled muscle, and my throat was still recovering. Naturally, at this point, I was worried that the pain in the side of my torso would prevent me from working. Every day at work, when I was pushing the mop, it actually caused the rib to hurt worse, but like I said, didn't have much choice in the matter. I just had to grit my teeth and push through, literally. So, it was 18 days later, and now my throat was still hurting, but not gaining more damage, which was good. But now I had a pulled muscle in my chest, and it sapped my energy. So, when I got home from work, I didn't have much left in the tank. So, I was back to the same process as I was before. Work, rest, 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 work, rest. I got better. And when I got better, I had my energy back. Some of it. And I went back to work, and I worked better than ever, and I started exercising again. I started writing again. I started drawing again. I was finally doing all the things I dreamed about doing while I was sick. All of those days spent waiting for my life to resume were finally over, and now I can live my life. And I knew I was going to work harder than ever. I was going to get more done than ever. I had goals for every day, and I was going to get as much done as possible. Turns out, that was naive of me, because I actually can't do everything I want to do every day. Mind you, I'm back to full health. I'm completely recovered, but I can only do so much in a day. And while I was laying in bed dreaming of all I would accomplish, I dreamed bigger than reality. And the heartbreaking thing was, even though I threw myself at every day, worked as hard as I could, it still fell short. Guess I learned a couple things from this experience. First of all, that I needed to appreciate my ability to live more, my ability to do things. Before COVID, I never really realized that I enjoy the physical, that I enjoy exercise and doing things with my body, and I didn't realize I enjoyed reading either, and I was so excited to get back to doing what I love. My time frozen in that bed healing really made me appreciate when I was able to move at full capacity. But the other thing that this taught me was that we can't always live up to our dreams of our own productivity. I was really upset because there was nothing in my way. There was no excuses. But as hard as I tried, I couldn't actually do that many things on any given day. And one time I was talking to my brother, and I told him that I wasn't getting enough done. And I listed the few things I did that day. But then he told me that it wasn't a few things. He said that I actually did quite a bit. I actually got quite a good bit of things done, and that I was being an idiot. All I know is I am really glad to be back. I'm really glad to have my voice again, and I hope I don't get sick again for a really, really long time.